6. We'll see you back here tonight at 11 o'clock.
Well, thanks for joining us for Unscripted and Up North Live. We'll check in with Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Joe Charlevoix for a look at your weather forecast coming up in a little bit later in the show. First, though, new details tonight from Traverse City Police. They're continuing to investigate a deadly shooting that happened Saturday night. Two suspects, a 17 and 18-year-old, are in custody. As our Allie Baxter reports, these teens are facing even more charges as investigators learn more about what led to their crime spree.
This is something that we hope never happens.
But late Saturday night, it did. It started around 10 p.m. when Traverse City police officers were directed to a routine call on East 8th Street. Dispatchers reporting to them that two people were stealing from cars.
On occasion, that is something that we normally respond to, making contact with individuals that meet descriptions of possible suspects of crimes like that, something we do on the regular.
But then that routine call turned into something officers trained for. When the suspects were found, officers say they ran away and one shot at them. No one was hurt, but one bullet hit the pant leg of an officer. That's
big, and that's what, those types of situations, as soon as something like that goes out over the radio, it doesn't matter if you're from Grand Traverse County Sheriff's Office, Michigan State Police, or other officers from our department. They're all converging on that area to make sure that our officers are safe.
The suspects, a 17-year-old and 18-year-old, were arrested separately in the next 2 hours. Officers found the gun that was used was stolen from Missaukee County.
Those officers stopped these two people from doing more awful things that would have impacted more lives.
As investigators put together the pieces of what happened, Sunday morning, a city parking employee was found dead at the State Street parking garage.
Physical evidence, video evidence led us to that conclusion that these two incidences were related.
The same 17-year-old who had fired at officers now faces a first-degree murder charge.
Now, moving forward, we have to ensure that this investigation continues so that we can get some closure for that family as well.
Police Chief Matt Richmond says that looks like building a timeline of the suspects' movements over the weekend and filling in any gaps.
We're not immune from any type of crime, whether it's a small community, big community. Crime happens. What happened over the weekend is not a common thing that we deal with, but it has happened in the past. However, in law enforcement, we prepare for everything.
And that was Allie Baxter reporting. She is now joining us live from our content center. Allie, we're learning these new details tonight, but where can we expect the investigation to go from here?
You know, Melissa, that was one of my main questions for Chief Richmond today, is in looking forward, knowing all this stuff has transpired over the weekend, what do we do now? And really, he said, we're going to look at the information that we do know, the information that we have already. We're going to get together with the other agencies involved. Obviously, a lot of agencies were involved starting on Saturday night. Michigan State Police, the Grand Traverse County Sheriff's Office. He said we're all going to get into one room together along with the prosecuting attorney's office, and we're all going to get on the same page about what information we have, what we know. And from this point, it becomes about building a timeline, not just from their first interactions with those two suspects and moving forward, but also going backwards as well. We know these two incidents with the deadly shooting are connected, so it becomes about kind of tracking, what were they doing that day and how did it lead to that parking garage and then, over to 8th Street where that chase with police ensued.
And there is such a detailed timeline like you're talking about that spans over several hours. If the public has any information, are police looking for people to come forward to provide any new information?
They haven't said anything yet about having that call out for information, but sometimes in the past when we get a little bit further into their investigation, they have ended up coming back. The prosecutor's office has also ended up putting out a statement sometimes as well, just saying, hey, if you happen to see anything, catch anything, either you saw something or you have a ring camera and it happened to catch these two suspects walking by at a certain time. In the past, they have had a call out for information, and I'm sure even if they don't have that public call out for information right now, that it definitely wouldn't hurt to call the non-emergency number and let them know, hey, I may have something that would be helpful to your investigation on my camera, or hey, I was leaving dinner that night downtown and I happened to hear some gunshots. Anything like that, I think, would definitely be helpful to their investigation as they get all this information they have together.
And Traverse City Police saying, this is something we don't experience here in the community. So it is obviously shocking, but also something that law enforcement is always prepared to take on.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Chief Richmond said today, because I asked him that question. Anytime something, very major for us comes up here in Traverse City, we are kind of a smaller community. And when these things happen, it really shakes us. This may be crime that happens maybe a little bit more frequently in bigger cities. But for a small community like Traverse City, this does really shake us. And Chief Richmond acknowledged that and said that, it does really leave an impact, and everyone handles, situations like this differently. But that ultimately they are prepared, that you can trust in your local law enforcement, that they train for all kinds of situations, especially one that happened over this past weekend, and that they are ready and they are prepared. They'd never want to deal with something like this. Like he said right at the beginning of that story, this is what you hope never happens, but they are trained and they are ready to respond when needed in these cases.
Allie, thank you. We appreciate that information. Of course, we'll continue to check in with you to get more details as the week goes on with this murder investigation. News of the shooting death in Traverse City sent shockwaves through the community, but nowhere did this news hit harder than on a home on Old Mission Peninsula. That is where Lawrence Boyd lived with his mom and where they were creating a future with his longtime girlfriend. Tonight, despite family and friends stopping by to show their support, the home feels empty, as if something is missing. Our Mark Shillette reports.
I don't ever want him forgotten. I don't want his name ever forgotten. I know there's no way to keep his name alive. As soon as his story fades, so will everything else.
Christy Hooper, 4 years into a bone cancer diagnosis, knew she was going to have to say goodbye to her son Lawrence sooner than she probably wanted to.
He was just starting to learn how to manage things, because he knew I wasn't going to be here much longer, and so he was trying to fix things around the house and try to do his time management with working full time, doing the grocery shopping, which I had always done. So he was trying to do what he could. The last thing he did for me is force a protein shake down me before he left for work.
But Sunday morning, word of what happened forced Christy to deal with a goodbye on different terms.
Some evil people took my world away. For no reason. None. They took what joy I had and destroyed it.
Today, those who knew and loved Lawrence the best and most, his mom and his longtime girlfriend Amanda, in sorrowful disbelief.
I don't want to believe it's true at all.
Throughout his life, Lawrence Boyd IV, a graduate of TC West and Ferris State, was always looking to lift those around him up.
His heart, he had the biggest heart. He literally would help anyone out.
So Saturday, before work, it didn't surprise Amanda when Lawrence reached out.
He wrote me a text. He's like, I hope you have a good night, baby, and I love you. And that was like the last text I got from him.
He loved the gym, loved to eat.
His favorite thing to do was ride his trail bike. He liked to go up and sit at the sand dunes and watch the sunset in a hammock. He liked to go on hikes.
And he loved loving the people around him, a mother battling cancer, and a girlfriend who over time had brought him into her world.
He wanted to get married, have children.
But those hopes of the future suddenly dashed. The most important women in Lawrence's life left a little lost, unsure of what exactly to do next, but certain of at least one thing.
I loved him. We all loved him. He was a good guy.
That was Up North Live's Mark Shillette reporting. Christy has a few hopes tonight, though. First, that no one forget about her son, Lawrence, the way his smile lit up a room and his legacy of love for others. She's also hoping that policies at the parking deck in Traverse City change in order to make things safer for Lawrence's coworkers. Switching gears on a much lighter note into health news, Michigan State University's College of Human Medicine is expanding its reach into northern Michigan with a new rural community health education site opening at Cadillac Hospital. A welcome reception today introduced the first group of medical students who will train in Cadillac as part of that program. The Rural Community Health Program brings medical students into smaller communities where they can work directly with local physicians. Students will then spend time in both Cadillac and Traverse City to experience what rural medicine looks like firsthand.
It was designed to bring medical students to our rural communities so that they learn about medical care and how it's different here in rural areas, and they train here right in the community.
And seeing patients' faces light up like that, seeing them get excited to be able to chat with a student about what's going on with them, and maybe to be able to teach the next generation about a thing or two that they're feeling, I think it really makes their day a lot of the time, and I think that's really cool.
Students say training in smaller hospitals gives them a more personal hands-on experience, and organizers hope it encourages more graduates to return to rural communities after residency. MSU says the Cadillac site marks an important step in supporting local health care and strengthening rural medical education. The downtown Traverse City Christmas tree was placed today. Take a look at this. It's a tradition that marks the start of the festive season in the city. It's a blue spruce weighing about 3,800 pounds. It'll be decorated with more than 4,000 lights. And that, of course, brings us to our question of the day. Holiday season is right around the corner. We want to know, have you started decorating? Go to our Facebook page, Up North Live, and our website, UpNorthLive.com. Let us know if you started to put those festive holiday decorations up. We'll check out those responses toward the end of Unscripted. And speaking of the holiday season, starting buying those gifts could come with some extra sticker shock this year. It's the first holiday since new tariffs from the Trump administration took effect, and it's hitting games and toys especially hard this year. Colin Roos looks at one small business that's rolling the dice this Christmas.
It's not just a store, but an arena where armies go to war. Far Harbor Gaming owner Jesse Graves says the board games he sells are like an advanced version of chess, involving strategy and team building with friends who learn the universe of games like Warhammer 40,000 and Halo Flashpoint.
You're within that world, but you're the general of an army, and you get to choose how your army looks and how it operates.
This year, buying these stylized boards and figures is more difficult for collectors. Graves says nearly everything on his shelf has seen prices slowly creep up, and he points to tariffs as the main culprit. Much of his inventory comes from European Union countries, which President Trump threatened with higher duty rates this summer. Graves has seen his customers still buying the same popular games, but fewer of them.
It is, at the end of the day, a hobby. It's not necessary to do anything for it. Like, you don't need it like food and gas and water and so on.
One of his regular customers says it's made an already expensive industry more out of reach.
I've definitely seen prices go up, but not prohibitively so yet. I think we're just hitting that.
Tim Rowley says the tariff increases have created a unique alternative. 3D printing is one way American gamers bypass the import and export costs, with artists custom making game pieces and tokens necessary for play.
If you don't have one, you can go to me and be like, hey, I need this, and we can print stuff out for people.
With many tabletop stores operating independently, Graves says in-person shopping is an important way to keep them alive. Instead of online purchases, he urges hobbyists to stop in and help overcome the hurdles of the economy and see the fun of old-fashioned, around-the-table gaming.
This isn't just like a hobby to do something to kill time. It's also a way to you get out of the house, interact with people, have a camaraderie with different people, joke, play around.
Cannot believe it is already that time of the year. We'll stay right here. We're not done with Unscripted just yet. Coming up after the break, Joe Charleboy takes a look at your weather and what you can expect for the week ahead.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.
Well, welcome back to Unscripted and Up North Live. Definitely starting to feel a little bit more like fall and winter. These temperatures cool, I'd have to say. For a complete look at what you could expect for Monday and as we head into the week, here's Chief Meteorologist Joe Charleboy.
Yeah, you know, the weather, we did have some lake effect snow yesterday, not as much today, and overall this week looks pretty quiet. I mean, Thursday, that's the day to kind of noodle away. We might get a little rain then. Let's take a look at temperatures. There they are right now. We are in the, well, most spots 30s, although Cadillac is down to 28. And the reason they're colder is because skies are clear to the south, so you don't have cloud cover. Meanwhile, Sheboygan, Rogers City, both at 36. Beaver Island right now at 32 this Monday evening. We've had some sunshine to the south. I know we're past sunset now, but earlier around Cadillac, Big Rapids, the sun was out. Ludington too, around Manistee. Areas north, a lot more in the way of cloud cover. Gaylord, Delpina, Sheboygan, back up into the eastern UP where we've had a few flurries also. Meanwhile, off to the west, you can see kind of the spin in parts of Nebraska down into Kansas. That's our next area of low pressure. Now, that's not going to track right over us. This will move down into the Ohio River Valley, but the northern edge of this will impact parts of Michigan during the day tomorrow. There it is. You can see the low down there in Kansas. That'll head toward, Cincinnati, that region. But the north edge of that passing low will bring in some rain and snow to parts of Michigan tomorrow. Not much impact here locally. I wouldn't stress tomorrow about any rain or snow. We might get a few flurries in the UP, but there it is. You can kind of see down around Grand Rapids, Lansing, maybe Detroit. This is mid-morning tomorrow, some rain and some snow, maybe a little sleet. For our area, again, we're going to use US 10 as a guideline. That goes from Ludington over to Clare. South of there, that's the best chance for maybe a little rain or snow tomorrow. It's not going to be a big deal. Meanwhile, areas further north, dry. And then Wednesday looks quiet. High pressure builds in. There's Wednesday morning into the afternoon. And then the best chance for rain will be on Thursday. So clouds roll in. There they are Thursday. You can see that chance for some rain or at least some showers Thursday afternoon and evening. And we'll show you that kind of on the bar scale here. The bar graph Thursday and Thursday night. It's best chance to see any rain over the next course of the next week or so. Right then. Snowfall with that system passing through, maybe an inch in parts of Wisconsin, and even downstate, they're not going to see a whole lot of snow out of this. Long range snowfall. This is from now to just before Thanksgiving, which is next week. Not much, very little, as we look ahead to the next 7 to 10 days. So overnight, 20s, low 30s, a few flurries lingering north, maybe around Sault Ste. Marie, Whitefish Bay area, partly cloudy skies. And then tomorrow, we're looking at a few flurries, highs in the upper 30s. Same thing in northeast lower Michigan, maybe a flurry, but otherwise partly cloudy. Sheboygan on your way to 39. Bel Air, not bad. Mansalona, Kalkaska, upper 30s, low 40s, partly cloudy skies. And Roscommon and Houghton Lake, Lake City, Cadillac 38, kind of a popular number. Ludington, Mount Pleasant as well. A little wintry mix south of US 10. Extended forecast, there it is. Showers Thursday, and then quiet weather heading into next week. And no big change in temperature either. Not all that cold or warm. Upper 30s to mid 40s.
All right, coming up in sports, Harrison Beebe wraps up this weekend's football matchups. Stick around. All those details coming up after the break. Welcome back to Unscripted for this Monday evening. We're going to turn things over to Sports Director Harrison Beebe, who has a look at those football matchups from this last weekend. Hey, Harrison.
Hey, Melissa. Yeah, now that we're here in the deep parts of November, the high school football playoffs slowly wrapping up. We'll do a quick shout out to Kingsley Stags, our lone Northern Michigan team left. They'll be in a state semifinal this Saturday in Division 6 against Kent City. Have more on that later in the week, but big buzz for football fans in Michigan. Talking about the Lions game. They were last night on Sunday Night Football against the Eagles. Did not go so well there. Lost that one 16-9. Melissa, this is kind of shocking for the Lions, quite frankly. It was projected to be a somewhat competitive NFC North division. They are third in the division now here in the midpoint of November, about 2/3 of the way done with the season, and they've got some winning to do to climb back into the playoff field. Right now, if the season ended today, the Lions would miss out on the NFL playoffs in January and the chance to play in the Super Bowl. And the Bears, shockingly, a team that was pretty bad a year ago, is at the top of the NFC North Mountain at the moment. But good news, Melissa, the Lions' schedule pretty favorable down the stretch. In fact, they play all three of those teams one more time each, so plenty of chance to win their way back into the division race and the playoff race. So that is the one positive, even though the Lions did not look so great last night against the Philadelphia Eagles. Though Philadelphia didn't play the best game either, so if they do rematch again, it would be interesting come January. Let's now transition to college football in Division II in particular. And Melissa, are you well aware of the dominance of the Ferris State Bulldogs?
I am not, but I think I'm going to find out right now.
I think you should, you should be well aware in Big Rapids. They are looking for their 4th national title in 5 seasons down there in Ferris in Division II college football. And that pursuit will begin this weekend. This is the bracket for the regional for Ferris State. They'll have 5 rounds. They have to win 5 games to win another national title and do a second repeat. Here they are the #1 seed in the overall field. They'll open with Northwood this Saturday at Top Tiger Field in Big Rapids. And once again, to repeat myself, 5 wins will get you another national championship in Division II college football. And that's where Ferris hopes to be by mid-December. So that'll do it for me. Back to you.
Thanks, Harrison. Exciting news for the Bulldogs. All right, stay right here. We'll take another look at that weather coming up on Unscripted after the break.
Salon services are furnished by Epiphany Advanced Academy in East Acme.
The holiday season is upon us, and that brings us to the question of the day. Have you put your holiday decorations up yet? Right now, we're looking at 25% of people saying yes, 75% say no. I thought it would be the other way around. Apparently, some people still aren't there yet. I am one of them. But of course, you can still head to our website and our Facebook page to let us know if you have put those decorations up. Thanks for making Unscripted your choice for news tonight. You can always join us later on for Up North Live's news at 11.